Greetings and welcome back. So today I wanted to do the TARDIS Team Adventures, a Doctor Who book tag, which was created by Claudia from Spinster's Library. Now, I wasn't tagged in this video, but I saw it on her channel and I decided I just had to do it. It just looked like so much fun. And I am such a big Doctor Who fan. If you get me started talking on Doctor Who, I will not stop. Anybody wants to discuss Doctor Who? Leave your thoughts down in the comments and we will have a discussion. So I started watching Doctor Who in 2006 and the very first episode I ever saw was Girl in the Fireplace, but I won't start going off on any of that now. What we're here to do today is this TARDIS Team Adventures tag. So it's basically coming up with my own Doctor Who episode using characters from different stories. So we'll start with our first question. Which book character is the Doctor? So for this, I tried to think of someone who I thought would just want to go on adventures and just have a good time exploring, but if they found any trouble would stop and help. So my pick for the Doctor is Wesley from The Princess Bride. I thought since he was the dread pirate Robert, he would be good at adventuring, be helpful, and it was sort of that quirky, fun, adventure-y kind of vibe that I always associate with the Doctor, because I did start with David Tennant, so he's my core Doctor vibe. So we have Wesley from The Princess Bride as our Doctor. Question 2. Which book characters are the companions? Pick between 1 and 3. So for the Doctor's companions, I wanted to think of some characters that would want to go on adventures, that maybe felt stuck where they are, but also could help the Doctor out. So my picks for companions were Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and Elphaba from Wicked. I thought they themselves would get along very well. Belle really wants to go on an adventure, wants to see the world, and I thought seeing the universe would be even better. And I think I've even seen like fan art of Belle getting into the TARDIS. I was like, yeah, you know what? I think Belle would be very excited to go explore the universe. And same thing with Elphaba. I feel like in her story, she feels very left out, but I feel like in going to explore the universe, she wouldn't feel so weird. She'd see other, aliens, she'd feel more at home out in the universe somehow than where she lives. I felt like she would have a good time exploring the universe. So I picked Belle and Elphaba. So then question 3, which time and place from a book is the TARDIS traveling to? So this actually came up a little bit after I went through some of the other questions, once I had the plot kind of figured out. But for this question, I decided we would go with it's traveling to sort of medieval England of the King Arthur stories. I felt like medieval would be kind of a fun time, place for them to go. I'm not sure if I've seen any episodes of Doctor Who where they go sort of medieval. So I think that would be really fun. Yeah, because we've gotten Shakespeare and we've gotten, I don't know. I've only watched the current series. I haven't had a chance to watch any of the original Doctor Who because it's just so hard to find. So I thought for our Doctor and our companions, they would go to medieval England. For question 4, who do the TARDIS team first encounter there? Pick between 2 and 4 book characters who are actively resisting the villain's evil plan. So for characters they encounter, I decided that our team would be, so I've got Frodo from Lord of the Rings and Katniss from Hunger Games, along with Marvin from Hitchhiker's Guide, so Marvin the paranoid android. And I thought Marvin would be kind of a good comedic relief character, and I thought since they were in medieval England and he's a robot, that he'd be disguised in armor and kind of clonking around, and I thought that would be kind of funny. But with Frodo and Katniss, I figured those were 2 characters that would be people who would jump up to help when they hear about danger, and Marvin is just kind of going along with things. So they're there trying to stop our villain, who, for question 5, which book character is the villain? So for the villain of this story, I've decided to pick Rumpelstiltskin from the Grimm Fairy Tales, because I thought it would be sort of a less sinister villain and a little bit more comedic. Not quite comedic, but I kind of like the idea of the Doctor battling sort of a fairy tale villain rather than anything more sinister. Just for my story, I wanted it a little bit more lighthearted and kind of funny. I always love the funnier episodes. Even if it's, battling aliens and adventure, I think I like the more lighthearted one, so I kind of wanted to go with that idea. So I have Rumpelstiltskin, and we're in medieval England, so it's sort of his own time period. And so the idea is that since trying to trick the queen into giving up her firstborn, and using the trick of, oh, you have to guess my name or I get your child. Once she figured out Rumpelstiltskin's name, she told everybody, so now he can't do any of his trickery on anyone, so he's really miffed about that. So he's making a plan to get everyone to forget his name so that he can go back to his old ways and keep tricking people into giving him things, kind of idea. So again, sort of a silly, stupid villain, but I thought it would be kind of fun. And then so to go along with this plan for question 6, which literary group, species, nation, or community has been recruited to be the villain's army? So I thought a group that would go along with Rumpelstiltskin and the sort of medieval England setting is he's going to recruit the fairies from A Midsummer Night's Dream, because I thought it was fitting for him in the time period, and I also thought that they sort of fit into the vibe of the tricksters, so it felt like a good matchup with Rumpelstiltskin and all the fairies, and so he can kind of use them to find things out and get things for him, and so use them as sort of an army. So that question 7, which magical, mystical, or scientific item from a book is the villain trying to steal or corrupt? So for this, I decided on it would be the genie's lamp from the Arabian Nights, the specific story of Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp. So Rumpelstiltskin, with the help of the fairies, has discovered that the genie's lamp is in a nearby cave, and they're gonna go find it, and he's gonna take it for himself and use the wishes to get everyone to forget his name and possibly even more sinister things. So he's got 3 wishes, he can do whatever he wants. So it started off as, oh, get everybody just to forget my name. I think it might turn a little more sinister and kind of, like him ruling or being able to do a lot more than he already can. So then we have question 8. Plot twist. One of your picks from question 4 was secretly working for the villain all along. Who is it? So for this, I decided to pick Marvin because I figured he didn't really care, he wasn't on anybody's side, but he wanted to go along with Rumpelstiltskin so he could use the lamp himself to get back to his own time, because he gets kind of fed up with being in medieval times and having to wear all the armor and clonking around in it. And so I thought it would be kind of funny and have Marvin be the secret agent or two-timer or whatever. So it's Marvin is working with Rumpelstiltskin to get his own hands on the lamp to get back. So then, question 9. How did the Doctor and team defeat the villain, secure the magical item, and save the universe? So basically how the rest of the episode pans out, Rumpelstiltskin and the fairies, and I guess Marvin at this point, are all searching for the cave that the genie's lamp is in. They find it, they start going through. The Doctor and Belle and Elphaba are on their tail, trying to get there first. So somehow in the sort of maze of the caves, so Belle and Elphaba go one way, find the fairies, and convince them to turn on Rumpelstiltskin and keep him from getting the lamp. And so while that's happening, the Doctor gets there first, gets the lamp, frees the genie, so that nobody else can use it for evil. With the help of the fairies, they capture Rumpelstiltskin, and the Doctor takes him to a planet where they don't have names so that he can't use his old trickery of try to guess my name kind of thing. So I thought that would be kind of a funny, without just like yeeting Rumpelstiltskin into space. So to bring him to somewhere where he'll survive, but he won't be able to do any of his tricks. So for question 10, roll the credits. Who wrote this episode of Doctor Who? So the question is, which author would I want to have written this episode? I think I would pick Edgar Cantero, who's the author of Meddling Kids and a few other books. And I think it's because I would want him to write it because he does such a great job with wit and funny storytelling, and so it would keep the episode light and funny, but he could also do some dark parts. Maybe at some point the Doctor thinks about, using the genie to wish back Gallifrey, but, doesn't. That kind of moral ambiguity kind of thing. But I think Edgar Cantero would write this episode very well because I want it to be kind of silly and almost making fun of fairy tales kind of idea. So that's my episode of Doctor Who. Let me know what you thought, and if you'd want me to write it up as like a fanfic Doctor Who episode, that could be kind of fun. But so now I will be tagging a few people for this Doctor Who tag, and I will tag Heather from Fresh Parchment, Lily from Lily's Library, and Allie from A Genteel Black Hole. No pressure, but if you guys want to try this tag out, I thought it was really fun and kind of silly, and just a really good celebration of Doctor Who. So, and anybody else that wants to do this tag, feel free. I thought it was really fun, and again, thank you to Claudia from Spencer's Library for coming up with it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, this is amazing, I need to do this. So I'm really glad I had a chance to do this tag, and I hope you all enjoyed it as well. And if anybody else has any tag videos, please tag me in them. I've had such a great time doing these, and I think they're just such a fun type of video and a really nice way to interact with people in the community. Thank you, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.